Hey guys, so today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to get started creating coloring pages using Adobe Draw. So I'm going to start by opening up my Adobe Draw app, and you can see that's one I got started on. So when you're on the main page at the bottom right hand corner, you're going to see an orange plus sign. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now I am going to choose iPad landscape for my format. Okay, so here's my workspace. On the right hand side, you can see background and a draw layer. On the left hand side, you can see different brushes. So really quick, just to give you an idea, this chiseled brush is my favorite. If I double click on it, you can see the color can be changed, the opacity, so how dark or light that is, and the size can all be changed by dragging up and down. On the right hand side, you can also make changes to adding and subtracting layers. So for our coloring book pages, I'm going to draw some inspiration from an artist that I really like. Her name is Sarah Pike, and I went ahead and I just went into Google Images and I found one of her teapots that I really like. So where is my teapot photo? Oh no. Hold the phone. Image layer on my iPad. All photos. Yikes. There it is. It was in my recents. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and make this as large as I can. So I'm just going to, pinch out with my 2 fingers, as you guys are very well versed at doing on your phone. So go ahead and let go when you're ready. Hit done in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to move this image down. So I'm going to click and hold on the right and slide it down, and the draw layer is going to jump above it. I'm going to go ahead and click on the image layer again, and I'm going to drop the opacity below 50% because I want to see the image, but I also want to see my drawing. So under 50% is a good place to be. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm clicked on my draw layer, all good to go. I'm going to go back to the left hand side and choose black because we're going to do a traditional coloring book page where we have black pages. So like I said, there are lots of brush options. I personally like the chiseled brush. So that's the one I'm going to use, 100% opacity, but I'm going to make it much, much smaller. So I'm going to really go down here, like 5, 6 is where I'm going to be. I'm going to start just by tracing the main shape of this teapot. The chiseled brush gives it like a very stylized look, which I think is fun for a coloring book page. So I'm just gonna work my way around getting the main shape. This is what we call the contour line. You can absolutely zoom in by pinching and just kind of move through. It's really fun, I think, to try to trace as long as you can. And especially with the chisel brush, the weight kind of changes, which I think looks really cool. But you certainly can stop and take breaks. You do not have to do any tracing in a single pass. So if you make a mistake, let's say I draw and I just went too far. So I can either erase or I can back step. So up at the top right, you see the back arrow. If I wanted to clean up a line that I made a mistake on, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to jump back to the brushes, and the last checkerboard here is my eraser. So I'm going to go ahead and erase. Okay. So just a couple tips there. I'm going to go back to my chisel brush again, and I'm going to start to look at these shells and start to trace them in. So I liked this teapot for that reason. I thought it would be really fun for a coloring page to have these shells. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure my brush is pretty small. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to start to trace the contour line of these shells. I know that some of you have maybe never used Adobe Draw or done any iPad drawing. I honestly, before we moved to digital instruction, had not used it much. I'd only used it for a couple personal projects, but I have been practicing more since we have been learning remotely. And I have to say that I really like Adobe Draw because it's really simple. It's kind of like a jazzed up Microsoft Paint, but way cooler. It accomplishes a lot of really cool things, but also doesn't have an overwhelming amount of tools. So I hope that for you all, you find it similarly easy to use and also enjoyable to use. I have been playing around with Adobe Fresco. You guys can download that also. It's in self-service if you don't already have it. Amazing program, incredible, but I quickly get overwhelmed. So I need to often take breaks. But know that those apps are in your self-serve if you want to play with them. They're really fun. And it is a really great skill to have. I definitely plan on spending more time this summer working with these drawing apps because I'm seeing how enjoyable they can be once I feel like I have a good handle on them. So I'm just gonna back up here so you can see it a little bit better. Whoops. And you want to include things like the table that it is sitting on, give it a little bit of context. I can go ahead and do a cool graphic wood pattern here, add some texture, put those knots in, remembering that a coloring book can be super detailed or it can be a little bit more basic. We have hopes of doing something fun with these coloring pages in the future, so I really hope that you all give it your best. It is going to be hopefully a fun little project. I can fill in a shadow here too. If you want to fill in a shape, this is a really important thing that I want to make sure I share with you. So let's say I wanted to make this shadow. I'm going to make sure that the area is totally enclosed. And I'm going to click and hold, and it will fill that in for you. So now I made this little shadow under the teapot, and I'm going to really quickly also show you all how it looks when we take the photo away. So every now and again, it's a good idea to just check in and see how it's looking. So I'm just gonna really quickly just add some more details here to show you guys. I would normally be taking much more time, but I'm gonna go ahead and click on that image layer, and I'm gonna drop that opacity all the way down. And it's looking really fun. I think it's really cool. I could certainly add more things in the background too. It doesn't have to just be this pot, but I already feel like this teapot is looking really fun. So once your page is completely finished, you're gonna go ahead and in the upper right hand corner, you're going to share image. And you are going to save that image, and it's going to just go to your camera roll. So then you can go ahead and submit that. Make sure the one that you submit, if you have a sketch that you did in pencil underneath or you have a photo underneath, make sure that you drop that opacity all the way down so we're left with just the coloring book page. So I'm really excited to see what you guys do, and I cannot wait to see how great these pages